Hey everybody, it is Saturday, February 8th, 2020. This is Dan Charles with Light Forex, and I'm going to break down the major Forex pairs, starting with the Australian USD. So let's get into it. Okay, so the last time I looked at this on the 4th, I was expecting a bit more of an upswing, and it did go up a little bit more. I did talk about these price levels though, 67.50. I drew these in 67.60. You can see price did not close above those prices. They dipped above, put in a lower high on the 6th, which was Thursday, and big drop, breaking through this important support price, 66.84, 66.83. And you can look at the weekly chart. You see this long upper wick, and the momentum is clearly to the downside on the Australian US dollar. If you look at the 240 though, big drop, big collapse. You really can't be anything other than bearish, but I'll throw in the but. This is just going, it's setting up to continue just going straight down. So I got to be bearish, but I really am cautious whenever I see something like this because it can trick you. It can really trick you into thinking that this is definitely going to continue this move, going straight down at this steep angle. So I always look at that with caution, and I'm going to be cautious on Monday when it comes to the Australian US dollar because all signs are pointing bearish, but it can really trick you and it could easily just rebound. So I'm going to stay neutral on the Australian US dollar, even though it's definitely looking very bearish. Let's take a look at the Australian futures. Definitely looking a little bit different on the futures. Still have this long upper wick on the weekly chart. The monthly, you can see I talked about this support at 67.02. Just based on the monthly chart, we closed below that. Big gap down though. So gaps often can be filled. So that's kind of why I look at this and I think, we could easily get a rebound on Monday. So it's looking so bearish, and maybe it just rebounds early in the AM and then pulls back more end of day. But that's why I'm just going to be a spectator on the Australian USD on Monday. Wait for it to become a little more clear. If we look at the 60, you can see we're going pretty sideways. We're going choppy here. And you see this big drop, and now we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, and we're just kind of rangy. So I would wait for price to break some of these ranges, 66.90, and then you got to look at 66.76. So you can see we got some support around that price, 66.76. And some resistance around the top of the range, 66.90, 91. So I would wait for it to break one way or the other. Let's look at the EURUSD. Okay, EURUSD. Yeah, so last day I talked about this key support at 1.1040. That got taken out on the Wednesday. Big drop, and this one really is setting up more. It's looking for that rebound. The low 1.0942, just the weekly, just such a big drop. The 240, nice price action. And based on the 60, you can see we got some support at 1.0942. That price was hit a couple times. It is setting up to break it though, But just looking at this chart, it looks more like a rebound is in order for the Euro USD. You got these long lower wicks, and yeah, it just, to me, this looks more like a rebound could be coming. But let's take a look at the Euro futures. Okay, Euro futures definitely looking more bearish than the Euro USD, but the same thing applies. It's just a drop is always going to have a rebound, just like upward trend is always going to have a pullback. And you can see here this drop from 11,305, rebound, drop. It looks more like a rebound potentially could be coming. Let's see the low on this one, 1.09660. Yeah, and just the weekly chart, it definitely is looking to me more like expect a potential bounce on the euro, but it's just it's full on bearish. And I talked about in previous weeks just how choppy on the monthly chart we are. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. We finally break through this key support that I drew in, busted through, closed below, and it's looking to go lower, but look for that bounce. Watch the support at 1.09660. You can see the last candle of the day, it hit that same price again. So look for that. Yeah, it just, to me, it looks more like a rebound could be coming. Okay, pound USD. So when I looked at this on the 4th, I was saying we're holding some support at 29.88, around that area. You can see there was support. I've been saying we're very choppy on the pound USD. Well, we finally closed below the range, and we closed below all the lows in this choppy move. So now we got to be bearish. We got to be bearish on the pound USD. Question always is, how much lower is this going to go before it has a bit of a pullback? Right now it looks like there's definitely more downside. Yeah, so this definitely is looking to me like the pound wants to go lower. Let's take a look at the futures, British pound. Yeah, same type of thing. It broke below this support at 29.95, key support at 1.3 thousand. Busted through that, broke below the low on December 23rd at 1.2940, closed below everything. You can just see that support on the weekly chart, busted on through. So yeah, the pound is clearly looking to go lower here. We have to look at levels. Yeah, so the next levels are going to be in and around 29.56, and then we got to look at the lows, 28.09. So yeah, let's see if it can hold, find some support. Maybe it rebounds, but to me, the pound looks full on bearish. Okay, New Zealand USD, long lower wick here. Yeah, it's just been setting up. When I looked at this on the 4th, I was saying, first off, I was expecting this rebound. Got the rebound, and I was thinking we could have more upside. It did go a little bit higher, but then really set up. And if I made a video on the 5th, I would have been calling this to go lower. And same with Thursday, the 6th. This was really setting up bearish to continue going lower. And now here we are. We went lower on the Friday, hit a low, 63.98. So 6,400, 0.6400 support. With this long lower wick, I could expect a rebound as well. Look for that. You can just see on the 60-minute, we are holding some support right now. And just the 240, it's just this big drop. It's fully bearish, but to me it looks like we could definitely get that rebound. And the last day I just talked about this this support that needed to hold. You can see it was holding some support. It broke out and it needed to hold the support, busted through the support, and then big drop down. So yeah, going forward, it's it looks like it could have a rebound early in the week. So let's take a look though at the New Zealand futures. New Zealand futures gap down. Let's see if that gap gets filled. So just like we had the lower wick on the New Zealand USD, we're hitting support at 6,400 on the futures, and we have this gap. So let's see if this has a rebound. Just by looking at this, that's kind of what I'm expecting. Even the 240 is really telling me we could get a rebound. So look for that. All right, USDCAD. USDCAD is just on a tear. I talked about key price last day at 1.3300. Did close above that price, closing at 3304. But here we are at this, what was a resistance price around here. You can see it pulled back. This is going back to late November 2019, early December 2019. Hit resistance, big drop. Here it is again around that area. The monthly, the weekly, everything looks strong, but you know, it's just, I always say, once, like, I would never enter long-term a position that's just going straight up like this. Sure, you can do short-term moves when you see it's bullish. Like, for example, you could see we held support on the 4th and the 5th. The low was 1.3263. 2 days in a row, it hit that exact same support price and then bounced on the Thursday, the 6th. And very bearish candle on the 6th, but then it just continued going higher on the 6th. Yeah, so the high going back was 33.28, and that was on 11/20, November 20th. And then price was, the high was 33.21. So yeah, I'm expecting a pullback. I've said that before, but normally you're gonna, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a bigger pullback than you've gotten on the USDCAD. So that happens, but let's see if it looks strong, but look for a pullback. Let's take a look at the Canadian dollar, because I always talk about this support, key support at 75 cents on the Canadian dollar. And we're getting very, very close to that price right now. And it did bounce last day when it came down and got close to that 75-cent price. Here's 75 right here, where this line is, pulled up. Did hit some resistance though at the high. So the Canadian dollar is definitely looking bearish. Here it is on the weekly chart though, to show it a little more clear. So here's 75 cents on the weekly. You can see it's right now it's holding. It kind of bounced just slightly. Let's see if you get that rebound and that 75 holds. That's what is going to be on the radar for early next week. If the Canadian dollar can hold 75 and have that bounce, then you're going to get that pullback on the USD CAD. All right, lastly, USD yen. USD yen is, well, it held some good support, like I mentioned, 108.31, pulled up. Now, I drew in this key price around 109.15 in the last video, because this was such a big rangy candle and there was resistance at this price. So we wanted to see if it held. You can see it came down, hitting a low of 109.30 right there. So it did pull back, just like I mentioned, and then it turned around. So it held that support, and then it went higher. But we hit this wall at 110. So we're hitting resistance at 110. It really needs to bust through 110 to continue this bullish move. The weekly chart and the monthly definitely are looking strong. Even the 240 looks like we could get more of a bounce early in the day next week. But until this busts through 110, we have to see, for the bulls, we want to see it bust through 110. Let's take a look at the yen. The yen futures. Okay, so the yen futures is definitely holding some support. You can see this is why it's so important to look at more than just the Forex pair of the USD yen. You look at the yen futures and you can see we got some support here. 0.0091005. We held that support and bounced, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, so let's see if this can continue the bounce up and the USD yen pulls back more on that resistance at 110. But of course, if it breaks through 110, we got to maintain being bullish on the USD yen. Okay, so that is the breakdown for the weekend, February 8th, 2020. Please subscribe to the channel to get more videos, and go to the link in the description box below. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.